You're listening to Tales of the Forsaken, a live play Fate Core game by Noble Jester Productions.
Alright, so you sit in a stone cell, barred doors, and you've just been sitting there waiting. Eventually, a guard comes and bangs a club on the door, and he says, "Hey, number 89, here's your last meal. Make the most of it." And then he pushes a tray through a slot in the door. It's a metal tray with a wooden bowl. Looks like it has a kind of a thick stew filled with meat and vegetables in it. There's a small loaf of bread and a cup of water on it.
Okay, take that and I'll start eating that.
Alright, as you eat, your mind can't help but go to why you're here. So, let's start with your name. People probably don't want to refer to you as number 89. So what's your name?
Alright, so my name is Beorn Strong.
Alright, just to be perfectly clear for the listeners, you are not playing Verboten?
I am not Verboten.
Alright, so you have been enrolled as one of the 100 hunted in the Erl'king's Hunt, an annual deathmatch game that is held here on Ryllian. Why don't you go ahead and tell me why you're here?
Well, I am here to rescue my kids, who are also part of the hunted.
Okay. And what are your kids' names?
My children are Larson and Adeline.
Alright. So we'll jump back into this. So you finish your meal, and I assume eventually you go to sleep as the night wears on. So very early in the morning, you're woken up by clanging of the door as the guards open it. They drag you up and pull you along these stone hallways. You can see kind of some small windows, the very early morning starting to gray the sky. And they bring you into this room where there's a large brazier, and they hold you down, brand a large X on one side of your neck, and then the number 89 on the other side of your neck.
Ow.
Yeah. And without anything else, they drag a hood over your head and pull you along these stone hallways until they knock you down onto your knees. They pull the hood off, and you can see that you're in a line of other prisoners who you assume are the other hunted. So you kind of try to look on either side, and you don't see either of your children. Although in the early morning darkness and the crowd, you can really only see the few on either side of you. You also don't see the hunters, so you would know that there are 12 hunters also in this game, and it's a deathmatch. Last person standing wins. An elven cleric walks along the line of prisoners, brushing one long finger down each side of their neck and casting a spell that appears to heal the brand, leaving them visible on either side of the neck. So he walks by you, and you feel this cold, intense kind of pressure on either side of your neck. Pain fades, and then the hood is drawn back down over your head and cinched tight at your neck. You are pulled into a cart, and you spend a couple hours being jostled back and forth on the seat of this cart. You can feel as it stops several times, people get off, and then it continues. After several hours, the cart stops. You are jerked to your feet, forced out of the cart, and then forced to walk with one guard at your back, leading you across, thankfully, fairly flat terrain. Anything you want to be doing during this, or just kind of let yourself be led?
You said I still have my hood on?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see if I look straight down, like, my eyes angled downwards to the ground, can I see what type of terrain? What's it look like?
It's kind of cinched around your neck, but I'd say if you're really trying, you can catch a couple of glimpses of grass.
Okay. Do I hear anybody else with me, or just the one guard?
The one guard.
Okay. How Okay. What's the temperature like? Can I smell anything? Anything smell familiar at all?
I mean, you can hear the sounds of your feet swishing through the grass. You can hear a slight breeze. You can't really smell anything because you're stuffed inside of this foul-smelling hood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your hands are tied behind your back, and this guard is here.
Okay, I think I would just keep walking.
Okay. You keep walking, and eventually you are jerked to a stop. The hood is pulled off of your head, and your hands are freed. And this elven guard steps back. He points this wicked-looking small crossbow at you, and he looks at you and he says, "If you move from this spot before the starting bell, you will be disqualified and killed."
So, that's just it then. You leave us out here to die.
I really don't care if you die or if you kill everyone else. He steps back. He goes through the motions of casting a spell on himself, and then he ascends up into the air and then stays hovering above you about 40 feet in the air. His crossbow trained on you.
Okay.
Anything you want to do? Keep waiting.
I'm assuming I have 0 weapons on me, correct?
Correct. You have a shirt and pants and shoes, and that's it.
Okay. Looking around the horizon, can I see anything that doesn't look like it's just the natural topography?
Nope. You look around and you can see to the north there, it looks like the kind of terrain darkens, almost like there's trees to the north of you. Just flat grassland on every other side. If you look closely, you can see both to the south and to the east 2 other hovering guards up in the air. So you can probably assume that there are other hunted to the south and to the east.
Okay. I think what I would do, so it's very clear that I've got a tree line that's closer than anything else that'd be in any other direction. That would be what I would assume is cover. So I think I would kind of ready myself as soon as we're free. I'm going to make a beeline to tree cover.
All right. After probably another 45 minutes of standing there, your heart pounding, you hear the loud clanging sounds of a bell, and the guard ascends and flies away.
I run real quickly to the tree line.
All right, so you start running north to the tree line. Probably takes you maybe 30 minutes of running to get there.
Oh, wow.
It's a ways away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you make it to the tree line. You don't see anybody around.
Okay. So I feel like I need to try to find something that can be used as a weapon. So even if I'm not finding an actual weapon, looking for a rock that I could pick up and club somebody if I had to.
Okay. Yeah. A rock is a good place to start.
Yeah.
So you look around and yeah, you find a rock. Kind of fist-sized rock. Looks like you could hit somebody with it pretty easily.
Okay. And I'm out here with nothing, right? It's just literally the clothes on my back. No matches or anything to create a fire. It's just...
Nothing.
Okay. Wow, okay. Alright. So next, I think what I will do...
I will say, this is an annual death match.
Mm-hmm.
So you would know that throughout whatever arena they've chosen for this, it's usually pretty large, and then they find ways to draw people together.
Mm-hmm.
But there are places scattered throughout it with supplies, with weapons, with dangers. Usually there are lots and lots of ways for you to die a brutal death,
Mm-hmm.
but there are also ways to get a weapon, ways to find advantages.
Okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in the tree line, but follow parallel to the tree line. My hope is that I can look out in the grassy areas and see if there's anything interesting or if there's people coming. Maybe something is hidden along here, I don't know, but I feel like that's a good starting point to see what I can find. So I would do that probably for at least an hour or 2 if I had to, unless I find something before that point.
Okay. Which way? Are you going east or west?
Oh, let's go east.
Okay. Give me a roll. I want to see if you were able to keep any sort of a sense of direction for which way the wagon was going.
Okay.
So give me, I'd say, a survival check.
Okay. Do not have that as a skill.
Okay.
That is a 1.
All right. You really were not able to keep your bearings at all with the hood on your head and, however many stops and things the wagon made. If you had to guess, you would think it came from the southeast.
Okay. So my interpretation is it came from the southeast. I was approximately going northwest. That's my best guess.
Correct.
Okay.
Not that you necessarily want to return to, a prison.
Sure,
but...
yeah. That's not a valid option at the moment, doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
So, I think I will continue going to the east.
Okay. All right, so how quickly are you moving? Are you running? Are you walking? Are you trying to stay hidden?
I would say I'm not running, but to the point of just before that. So probably jog a little bit and then kind of a brisk walk. Jog a little bit, just trying to make quick ground to find things, but then also not completely wear myself out.
All right, yeah, so you move for a couple hours. At one point, you do think that you have seen someone down kind of in the grass to the south, but it's hard to tell, and you don't continue seeing movement. But after about the 2 hours that you've been in this process of jogging and then walking and jogging and walking, you see a figure running north towards you, running towards the trees.
From the grass?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to get down and try to hide.
Okay. You get down, probably, crouching behind a tree or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You get down, crouching behind a tree. Assume you have your rock ready.
I do.
If this is a threat, are you going to attempt to kill this person?
If I can clearly tell that it looks like not one of the hunted, then I would probably try to hide, unless it's a very easy kill, but even then, probably not. So I think if it is a hunted, I might try to talk to them.
Okay. And you would know, from previous groups that often the way that this works is, especially the first day, there's a lot of killing as groups begin to form and, the hunted band together and try to find weapons and things that they can use to survive, supplies, all sorts of those, types of things. And inevitably that ends in quite a few people dying.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, grouping up, banding together is kind of one of the primary strategies for the early part of the hunt. So you watch as this figure comes closer to the trees, and your heart leaps as you see Larson running towards you.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'll jump out. Oh, Larson, it's me. It's your father.
He runs a few steps and then stops and pales, and then he runs over to you. He says, "Dad, what are you doing here?"
Son, I came here for you.
What do you mean? You're a part of the hunt.
But I didn't have a choice. You and your sister. I can't lose you anymore.
He just looks shocked and kind of bewildered. He says, "Oh, why? What? I volunteered to save her, to make sure that she gets out of this, but what are you gonna do?"
I'm going to get you and your sister out of here.
What do you mean only one person can win?
I have to try.
He starts to look kind of angry. He says, "I can't believe you've done this."
Right now he's kind of with just his relationship that he's had with his kids, I think he's kind of speechless, where he feels like in the moment he's had ideas where he can maybe do something to help, but it kind of immediately goes back to kind of questioning and shame.
Okay. He looks around and he just kind of shakes his head and he says, "Well, you're here, so we've got to find Adeline. We've got to make sure that she's the one that survives and wins this."
Yes, what all of you covered so far? I've been running from that direction there.
I came from the south. There were several other hunted that were fighting over a pack of supplies, but I just ran.
Yes, that was probably a good decision. Should we keep heading down the trees, or what do you think?
I don't know. I was hoping to get to the trees, hoping to find a weapon of some kind and see if there's maybe some higher ground that I can try to find to... I don't know. I don't even know how to find her.
Well, let's start by staying alive. Let's keep heading down the tree line.
All right. Yes, I'm sorry. It's good to see you.
It's always good to see you, son.
Let's not stand around. Let's go. And he starts running along the trees in the same direction you were originally traveling, to the east. After a few minutes, he stops and he says, "Hey, give me a boost," up next to a tree.
Okay, yeah, I'll lift him up.
All right, you boost him up and he climbs up and grabs onto a branch that is like partially broken, and he kind of puts his full weight on it and it breaks off. And he holds it up and says, "Well, it's not much, but it's kind of a spear."
Yes, good thinking, son.
So you continue running, I'm assuming? Just kind of moving in the same direction?
Yeah, I think we're just going to keep following a path.
Alright. After another probably 45 minutes or so, you hear the sound of yells, and you hear coming south through the trees heavy footsteps.
Okay, I'll tell Larson to get down. We'll get down and try to scope out and see who's coming.
Okay. Let's go ahead and probably get a roll for stealth.
Okay. That is my great skill, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And I rolled a 4.
All right. So you get down. Larson also gets down, and you can see he's kind of, hiding behind this tree, gripping this branch of a tree. His knuckles are white. He looks terrified, and he's crouched down, and you hear these heavy footsteps coming and the sounds of yells behind these footsteps. And then you see, kind of breaking through the trees into your vision, a large orc that is just running, kind of looks back behind himself a few times. Looks like he's running from something.
Okay. I'm going to try to see what is chasing him.
Okay. You can't immediately see what it is. He's running not directly at you, but a little bit to the side. So if you want to stay hidden, he probably won't, run right into you.
Mm-hmm.
So he keeps running closer and closer towards you, and then breaking, kind of through the trees into your vision, you see a group of what looks like 6 other people running after this orc. They're screaming and yelling and kind of, looks like they're chasing him. They're all holding makeshift weapons, except this one human man that's kind of running at the front has an actual, curved iron sword.
Okay. I'm trying to think what we would want to do here. Can I pop out and see if I can get his attention to be, motioning on for him to, come hide with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so are you trying to stay hidden from them, but, kind of just get his attention?
Yeah.
Okay. So you stick your head out and motion towards him, and he sees you and runs towards you. And then he barrels into you, throws you out from behind the tree, and keeps running.
Okay.
And you slam into the ground.
Okay, that didn't work.
And these hunters, not hunters, but they're also hunted, but they see you and start rushing towards you.
Okay, then we will try to run behind this orc and get away.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get an athletics roll.
Okay. It's not bad. It's 2.
All right, so you start running. Larson runs with you, and after a few minutes, you start to realize you've been running for hours now. You're already tired, worn out. They don't look like they're slowing at all. If you don't do anything else, they're probably going to catch you.
Okay. But if they're... I'm trying to think of how we can get out of this. So there's like 6 of them?
Yes.
Jeez. And one of them had a sword. We've got a rock and a stick.
Yep.
They were definitely after him, but I don't know if they would just turn on us, too.
They do appear to, at this point, be chasing you.
Oh.
It
Okay.
does not seem like they care who they chase down and kill.
Okay. I'll kind of yell at the orc, "Wait, help us!" And I'll stop and turn to face this group coming at us.
Okay. Larson stops. The orc completely ignores you,
Okay.
keeps running. Larson stops and says, "Are you crazy? We've got to run."
I don't know how much more I can run.
He looks like he's debating whether he needs to just leave you or not.
Maybe like we try to change directions and run a bit more. Just pause for those few seconds, try to grab breath and keep going.
In this situation, do you think that you would want him to stay with you, or would you try to get him to run one direction and you distract these guys and make them follow you in another direction?
Oh, that's a good point.
I feel like, having
Yeah.
seen your aspects, this would be a good situation to compel you that I think you would do anything you can to keep him alive.
Yeah, I agree. I think, if you're referring to, I've let my kids down, yes.
Yeah.
I think that is true. So I would yell at him, "Larson, find your sister." And then I will turn to face these guys until they're a little bit closer, and make sure they're focused on me. And then once I feel like if he's hopefully listening and running, I'm going to run the opposite direction.
Okay. He pauses for a moment and he says, "No, Dad. You're right. I'm so sorry." And he throws his stick branch, spear at you. Not like to, attack you, but to give it to you.
Yep.
And he continues running.
Okay, I'll pick up this big stick and I'll hold that big stick in one hand and the rock in the other.
Okay. They rush at you, and unless you're going to keep running, they essentially surround you.
I think I'll try to run for a bit, so hopefully I can create some more space, because if I fail here and they take me out and go for my son, he would obviously be closer, so I'm going to try to run at least the other direction for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of run to the side, and you eventually run into a small clearing in the trees, and you're exhausted at this point. You've got a massive stitch in your side, your legs are kind of quivering. You think this is probably your last stand. Mm-hmm. They sense this, and they kind of slow at the edges of the trees and start to spread out around this clearing, and then begin to come in at you. The 6 of them all around you.
Okay, at this point I'm just kind of, moving between them, watching them, seeing if I can tell if one's going to make a move first. I've got my, this big branch spear thing kind of out in front of me. Was it like kind of a pointy end, or was it more of like a club? I forgot what you had said.
From where it broke off of, the rest of the tree, it's got kind of a pointy end.
Okay,
a little splintered, but yeah.
I'm gonna keep the pointy end towards the bad guys, or the other guys. I don't know if they're bad guys, but they're the other guys. And then I've got the rock in my left hand, just kind of moving back and forth. And when he tries to make a move, I'll try to engage. It's bad.
Yeah, so their leader holds out his sword and points it at you, and he kind of looks around and laughs, and he says to the others, he says, "We finally got a fighter. Look at this one, thinks he's gonna take care of us with his pointy stick. Move in, boys." And they're gonna come at you.
Okay, the one that like seems like it's farthest out, I'm not gonna wait till it gets all the way to me. I'm gonna rush towards that closest one, trying to do as quickly as I can.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get a roll for that. So you jump at this closest one, kind of a little bit off to the side from this main leader who appears to be holding back a little bit to let his companions come in at you. And you surprise him a little bit. He wasn't expecting you to jump at him. So yeah, you go first.
Okay. Ooh, not a good roll though. So that is a 0.
Okay. He also got a 0. He got a 2. So he also has a stick that is not so much like a spear, but more like a club, and he just knocks away the tip of your, we'll call it a spear.
Okay.
And he's going to swing at you.
Okay.
That's a 4.
Would you look at what I rolled? I am first. So that's a -4 on the dice. So, I'm trying to think if anything actually works here with my aspects that I could potentially invoke.
This is going to be the shortest death match ever. At least for you.
Just get me back for the see between. Let's go back to the aspect you used to compel me. The aspect of I've let my kids down and really trying to hold on and do what I can to help them.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to spend that. So I'm at 2.
Well, you gained 1 from me compelling you.
Oh, nice.
You're not technically supposed to be able to go over, your max, but in this situation, I'd say...
Because it's a death match. And yeah, I'm going to re-roll. Because literally anything can be better than what I rolled. Unless I roll again. Hey, that's a lot better.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So that is that's a 3.
Okay. So he got a 4. He still...
Okay.
You still take 1 physical stress.
Okay.
So he, swings this club at you, and you do manage to duck out of the way, and now the others swarm in. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to roll some attacks against you.
Okay.
That is a 2.
Okay, I got also a 2.
Okay, so the first one misses. A 3.
Also got a 3.
Okay, second one misses.
Got a 4.
A 0. So you succeed with style there.
Okay.
So these people are just hammering at you with whatever rocks and sticks they've managed to gather together, and you see this break in them for a moment, and you just throw your body through them and kind of land heavily on your side, but manage to get up, and you have gotten out of the circle of them.
Okay.
But unfortunately have now, landed right at the feet
sword.
of the guy with the sword who's going to attack you.
Okay.
So that is a 5.
Do I get a free boost?
Yeah, I'd say
that?
you get a boost.
Okay, so then that'd be a 4.
Okay. So you take another shift of physical stress.
Okay, marking off my 2.
All right. So he, swings at you, and you kind of continuing your movement still manage to avoid it. The pommel of his sword kind of cracks into your arm. And as that's happening, you suddenly hear this intense sound. It kind of is a spike of pressure that almost hurts your ears, and it just sounds like kind of a as you suddenly see this massive creature swoop over this clearing and kind of crash down into the side of it and rush into the trees. It's this, you're not really familiar with, there aren't dragons in Ryllian, but this creature is like, one from legends of when dragons did exist in Ryllian long ago, and it is this large red, appears to be a dragon, and it slams into the trees.
Okay, that's concerning.
Yeah. Everyone stops and kind of watches and stares as this happens. And you see some kind of drawn, pale looks on their faces. What do you do?
Can I take advantage of the shock of this for everyone and try to go for the sword to rip it out of the guy's hand?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
All right. I don't even know what to say. What, did you roll one of these before this game?
I don't know why is this happening to me.
This is your second.
All negatives.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I got fate points, and this is bad, so I'm going to spend a fate point again for that. We're good with that same aspect.
Yeah, you're kind of in this still, where you're doing everything you can to survive, to save your children. So yeah, I'm good with you still using that one.
Okay, down to 2 fate points. They rolled 2 negative 4s.
I know.
This is rough. It's a little better. That's just a 1.
Yeah, he got a 5.
Okay, yeah. So I fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I run and jump and try to grab the sword and grab on. Throws me off.
Yeah, he throws you off. He succeeded with style. He's going to immediately use that to try to attack you with it. So that's a 6, and he's going to trigger the boost, and he has an 8.
Ooh, that's bad. I got a 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I mark
6
off.
shifts.
Yeah, I mark off my 3, and then I guess I'll take a mild consequence.
Okay. You would probably need to take a medium consequence since you still have 3 left over.
Oh, because that wouldn't cover on that. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So moderate.
All right. So he's going to. I think he slams this sword into your leg, and you feel your leg break.
Ooh. Okay.
So broken leg is going to be your consequence.
Okay. That feels like a severe consequence. Just saying.
I mean, I could have just cut off the leg. That would be a severe consequence.
Got it.
All right. So as you fall to the ground, all of your hopes draining away, you hear once again a similar sound, but even more painful in your ears. As another, even larger dragon swoops over. Large gold dragon that lands in the center of this clearing. Looks at all of these figures, just roars. They run.
Okay. I will kind of start scooting back on my elbows on the ground.
Yeah. As he's looking at them running away, you see behind this dragon, this red dragon kind of pull itself up onto these trees and looks like it's about to leap onto his back.
Okay, so the fact that he, whatever dragon is showing up here, scared these guys away, I'll yell out, "Behind you!"
He turns, sees this red dragon who starts to leap, but as this gold dragon turns and tries to kind of claw his way back into the trees, and you see this gold dragon pounce on him, land, rip him out of the trees, grab at his neck, cracks it. He looks down at him, breathing heavily, and then he just turns and moves back to you.
I kind of still keep scooting back on my elbows. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, he comes over to you and looks down at you and says, "Thank you for the warning, friend.
Yes, you're welcome.
You got a broken leg there."
Yes, I hadn't noticed the bone sticking out.
"Could you tell me what's going on around here?"
This is a competition where they put the least of these in these arena and fight to the death, and last one alive is the one that makes it out.
And I assume you want to be the last one out.
Actually, no. My children are in here, and I'm trying to get them out of here.
He pauses for a moment and looks at you. And he says, "Well, you did me a good turn. Let me do one for you in return." And he shifts down into the shape of an orc and walks over to you. He reaches into kind of where his chest is, and it looks like there's some sort of a silver cup that he grabs onto. And he puts a hand down on your leg, and you feel your leg instantly snap back into place. The flesh forms back around the bone, and you feel yourself completely refreshed. As you do this, you feel your consciousness kind of sink down inside of you, and you feel yourself drawn into this large, what looks to be the cup that he's gripping onto. You feel yourself fall into what feels like an ocean of energy, and it starts to seep into you to fill you up, and you feel powerful for the first time ever. You feel like there is something connecting with you, and there is a moment where it feels like some sort of an other force that's kind of invading you, but it breaks through into you, and you feel just filled with energy. Your eyes snap back open, and he looks down at you and he says, "Well, I wasn't expecting that." And that'll end episode 1.
I need new dice.
You do need new dice.
I don't know if I've ever rolled. Have I ever rolled all negatives before? Like, other than like maybe once?
I think maybe once, maybe twice, but I think just once.
Man, twice? Within like 3 or 4 rolls? That's bad.
Yeah.
These dice are going to jail.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're here. You're not playing Verboten, but he just showed up and saved your bacon.
Oh, that's good, because it was looking pretty hopeless.
Yep.